Hey guys, what's going on? It's Vic here, back with another Madden 23 rebuild. In today's episode, we're going to be rebuilding the Arizona Cardinals, but we're going to be trading away Budda Baker, who is either requested to be A, the highest paid safety in the league, or B, he is requested to be traded. Those are his two options. Now, from Budda Baker's perspective, I understand he wants to be paid. He is not the best safety in the NFL. In my personal opinion, the best safety in the NFL, whenever they are healthy, is Derwin James. But he isn't always healthy, so people can debate that if they want to. I don't really care. But Budda Baker, I can understand. If I had to play for the Cardinals, I would definitely want to be the highest paid player, highest paid safety in the entire league if I had to play for such a poverty franchise. But yeah, because it looks like they're going nowhere soon, especially with all their plans. Offensive line is terrible. They're probably going to be trading D-Hop. James Conner is not what he used to be. There's a lot here to fix. There is quite a lot here to fix. They're probably going to get Will Anderson out of Alabama, and Isaiah Simmons is going to be the new strong safety. So without further ado, let's just jump into this rebuild, and we're going to have to trade away DeAndre Hopkins and Budda Baker, so I will get into that in the draft. But for right now, we are going to look at the re-signings. Everyone here just don't really care for, don't really want, and the retirements I'm not even going to bother to look at. So anyways, let's just get to the draft. And with the third pick in the NFL draft, no surprise, the Arizona Cardinals select Will Anderson Jr. out of Alabama, 6'4", 243, 85 speed. Monster, absolute monster coming out of Alabama, and he will be our future pass rusher. So we are now trading away DeAndre Hopkins for the New England Patriots next year's first-round pick, so they're going to have to pay later down the line rather than pay now, which I think is fine because it's just a next year's. If it was a this year's first-round pick, that'd be different because they're projected to pick at number 21 next year, but this year they are picking at number 14, so it's a little bit less of value here. We're actually 7 picks behind value, but it's fine. So there's a lot of fingers pointing towards the Packers in terms of safety because Budda Baker wants to get money. And apparently the Packers had a little bit of interest in him. And the Steelers did as well, and they already have Minka. So having the Steelers have Budda Baker and Minka would be crazy. But Steelers need offense more than defense for sure. So a lot of the fingers point towards the Packers. So we're getting another first-round pick next year. So that means we're going to have 3 first-round picks next year. So that'd be good for the rebuild. I like that. Now, this is the team after the draft. I drafted this running back out of Texas A&M, Devon A. Chain, I believe is how you pronounce it, but he's supposed to be really good. He only has normal dev, though, unfortunately. I got John Michael Schmitz in the 3rd round as well. Trey McBride, I'm probably, he's going to be our fullback, I guess. Hollywood Brown's going to be wide receiver 1, unfortunately. Defensively, we are going to have Will Anderson, of course, who I'm going to move down to left end since we are in a 4-3 scheme. He's going to be wearing number 31. We'd like to see that. So move him down left end. Got that. And for the rest of the defense, we're looking pretty good. Specialist. Will Anderson's going to play rush left end, of course. We're gonna move him up. I don't care if he's not a power back. Still want him up. And everything else looks good from here. Don't expect us to go crazy year 1, but who knows? It's time to move into the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark as we are 2-5. Somehow the Seahawks are 0-6. But our offensive points per game sucks, and our rushing game is bad, but at least our defense is 12th in points per game. But immediately, we need to fix our offensive line. I think that should be number 1 on the Cardinals list here. So I'm going to scout the offensive tackles in the class. Seems like there's some pretty high ones on the board, so maybe we can get an easy first-round left tackle. And Taylor Elay, you are only a 62 overall. I mean, you're 23 years old with star dev, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, sure. Why not? 900K for 3 years. Okay, sure, depth. If he has star dev, that's the only thing that matters to me. Marquise Brown, I'll do a 5-year deal with you. I wanted you to stay on the team. We traded a first-round pick for you. Isaiah Simmons, we spent a first-round pick on you, and you still want more money. I'll probably give it to you. Will Hernandez can walk. Zero White, I would be cool with, 2 years, increase the money. And he just doesn't want to play here. If he doesn't want to play, I'm not going to hold him against his will, even though I would like to, because he's already 27. But anyways, let's move into the playoffs. Here we are, finishing 3-14. We were 2-5 at the midseason mark. Even this 0-6 Seahawks finished above us. Wow, what a season, boys. Anyways, we're going to get our franchise left tackle. I know that for sure. Kyler Murray actually did very good for how terrible their team was. 14th best offense, 22nd best defense. That doesn't seem like a 3-14 season. Almost 5,000 yards, 31 TDs, 14 receptions, horrible passer rating. James Conner, 16 touchdowns, 3.7 per carry. I don't know why they made him the starter. I wanted this guy to be. Might cut James Conner. Receiving wise, Zach Pascal actually did very good with 1,100 yards, 9 touchdowns. Rondale Moore, 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns. Marquise Brown, the least of the receivers here, but still not a bad season. Zayvon Collins, 136 tackles for a loss, 13 for Will Anderson, and 12.5 sacks for Will Anderson. What a rookie season. 3 interceptions from Marco Wilson. Safeties is 0, defensive touchdowns is 0. So, anyways, apart from that, let's move in to the offseason. And the Niners get their revenge on the Ravens in the Super Bowl. Fred Warner wins the Super Bowl MVP, and Jalen Hurts wins the league MVP. Kyle Shanahan wins Coach of the Year. Will Anderson Jr. wins the Rookie of the Year. He should have at least Superstar, if not X Factor, for getting the Defensive Rookie of the Year. Let's see what we got offensively, the upgrades. Zach Ertz gets Star Dev. He's not going to be here long because of his age. Will Anderson has X Factor. That's awesome to see. Marco Wilson, I believe, gets Star Dev. Elay already had Star Dev. Yeah, we need some deep. We need everything. The team sucks. Anyways, let's move into the re-signings. In the NFC West, nobody for the Cardinals retires, but Bobby Wagner retires as a Seahawk. Dude literally bandwagoned for 1 year and then came back. How do you bandwagon to your division rivals and expect them to take you back? And they still did. Isaiah Simmons, take whatever money you want. We'll just give you player-friendly in then 5 years. Does that work? Yeah, he resigns. Will Hernandez can walk. Zach Pascal can walk. Even though he had a good season, I can still replace him with probably anyone. Kazir White's already too old, and he doesn't even want to be here. So apart from that, let's hit free agency. So we got Trayvon Diggs. He really wanted to play here. Same thing with L'Jarius Sneed because we didn't have any DBs and we were in a warm weather state. So we got both of them. Montez Sweat didn't want to play here, but money changes his mind. And I also got Devin White on moderate interest. He's wearing 12. I don't like that. But huge upgrade to our defense. Obviously, no offensive upgrades, but I plan to fix that in the draft, so let's move into it. And with my second pick in the NFL draft, I'm picking up right tackle Bradley Webster out of Kansas State. 6'6", hidden development, 87 strength, 80 jumping for someone who's 300 pounds and 6'6" is crazy, but he's going to be our franchise right tackle. Now, this may seem crazy, but I'm now picking up our franchise left tackle, 6'4", 323 pounds out of Texas A&M, 86 strength. Not really much of an athlete past that, but he's an offensive lineman. Don't need him to be. Hidden development, he's definitely going to replace DJ Humphries. And with my other first-round pick, I'm picking up wide receiver Mike Hightower out of Florida. 6'3", 222. Good athlete for being 6'3", 222 as well. Only normal dev, but he's still a good pick. So this is the team after the draft. Everyone is everywhere. Oh my gosh. Stanton is going to be my left tackle that I drafted. He's only a 72 for being a top pick, but still, my right tackle is a 74. It looks like there's this guy named Gills. Cool. He's going to be my left guard instead of a center because I already have John Michael Schmitz at center. And we're just going to have a really, really youthful offensive line, so maybe the first year they're not going to be good, but once they develop, they will. Hopefully one of these guys has superstar. I did not waste 2 first-round picks for this. Holcomb, ooh. This guy could be better than Hightower. I picked Hightower in the first round. This guy could be... He looks like a better slot guy, so he probably will be in the slot, if I'm assuming. No, Hightower's in the slot, and he's not even there. Interesting. But for my cuts, DJ Humphries. I already have my franchise left tackle. You take up so much money. I don't want you on the team. You know what? I'll take this. I'll take $1 million cap penalty hit. It's not that big of a deal. He's cut. Zach Ertz. This is a rebuild, not a Senior Bowl. I have better youth behind you, and I save $8 million if you're off my team. You're cut. It looks like Sutton's going to be the starter as well over Trey McBride. So Trey McBride's going to get benched because Sutton I picked in the second round. Trey McBride is starting? Oh my gosh, this is... Of course, EA does this to me. Trey McBride, you're going there. Sutton's going to be the starter. Trey McBride's going to be the second. And yeah, James Conner. Again, this is not a Senior Bowl. This is a rebuild. Get off my team. I have more youth behind you. You're 29 years old. I understand that's not super old, but I still would like it if you did get off my team. So put that guy there. Move Sutton up. Got all of that. Making sure everyone's good. Defensively, got everything I want here. Bond doesn't seem that bad. Just because our right outside linebacker is a 64 overall, and this guy's a 65, so we'll probably go even up in overall. And he's going to be our right outside linebacker now because I definitely didn't pick him, so the CPU did. Our run defense I already know is going to be like last place, but the rest of our defense is going to be stacked. Specialist, like what we have. Zayvon Collins is for some reason rushing off the edge. Will Anderson, our rush defensive tackles are terrible, but this is what we got for our third season. Definitely think we're going to at least have 8 wins, so let's move into the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason markers. We are 4-3 second division, contested division. Breakout wide receiver, it never happened, so I don't even try them anymore. So, scouting national focus this time is going to be defensive tackle. Got to work on the other side of the trench this time because, man, this team needed a lot of improving, but that is, of course, what we are here to do. Players ready to negotiate. Let's see what we got here. Rondell Moore. He can take a lot of money. I'm fine with this, actually. He's had 1,100 yards in the previous season. Zayvon Collins doesn't want to be here. He doesn't like the scheme. He doesn't have a mentor. And he just doesn't like that we're the underdog, I guess. Sure, just take the money. I don't even care at this point. Marco Wilson, same deal. Take the money. That's not even cheap. I'm just passing out contracts, kind of like how your mom gets passed. Anyways, yeah, nobody else here I like. And if you didn't like that joke, cry. Anyways, let's move into the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs, finishing 8-9. I said we would get 8 wins. I was right. Our offense still sucks, though, because I think our offensive line just isn't developed yet. Stats and awards, Kyler Murray did terrible. 31st best offense in the NFL, and the best defense. Okay. 4,100 yards, 27 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 89 pass rating. This is horrible. Rushing-wise, Devon did not do good. Michael Sutton, our rookie tight end, had the most receptions and yards. Really? Hightower, the rookie in the slot, had that. Defensively, Devin White, 131 tackles for a loss, 25 for Will Anderson, sacks 14.5 for Will Anderson. Feel bad for everyone else on the defense because they just have to put up with the offense being so bad. Montez Sweat, 7.5 sacks. Interceptions is 5 for Trayvon Diggs. Safeties, 0. Defensive touchdowns is 0. So, let's see what we got here in the offseason. And the Cowboys beat the Bengals in the Super Bowl. Kelvin Joseph wins the Super Bowl MVP. Jalen Hurts wins back-to-back league MVPs. And Michael Sutton, our tight end, wins the Rookie of the Year. Okay, so we're getting these rookie awards so we can get the development upgrades. So our tight end should have start Ev. Now, I picked him in the top of the second round. He does have start Ev. Really? All of our offensive linemen only start Ev? Come on, dude. Spent so many picks on these guys just for them to be average. Holcomb might start over Hightower. The Hightower is a first-round pick as well. But Marco Wilson, apparently a superstar dev now. Glad I signed him when I did on that cheap contract. Still need a defensive tackle, but at the same time, our offensive line just needs to develop. Let's move to the re-sign players. In the NFC West, Kyle Van Noy retires on the Los Angeles Rams. Honestly, I completely forgot about Kyle Van Noy. He's just a forgettable player. After the Patriots, he just became irrelevant. Everyone here just don't have an interest in signing, but apart from that, guys, let's move into the free agency. After free agency, I only got Tevin Jenkins, who didn't want to be here, but of course, money changed his mind in a warm weather state, as always. But, yeah, nobody really wants to play for us, but I need an offensive line. That was the best available guard there in free agency, so let's hit the draft. In the first round, I'm picking up defensive tackle Tyreek Petit, or Petit, whatever. I don't care. He's out of Ole Miss. He's almost 300 pounds, 6'3", normal development, unfortunately, but 89 strength and good athleticism. In the second round, I'm picking up another defensive tackle, but this time he has hidden dev, and he's very similar size, very similar athleticism, except he only has hidden dev, and he's a second-round pick. So this is the team going into the next season, and honestly, I just think it's development. That's the only thing that's holding our overall back. We have so much youth. It's just the O-line is not nearly developed. An 81 overall without Morales, our best offensive lineman. We have a 79 overall tight end, and then we have Brooks, he's only 69. Still going to move him up to defensive tackle number 2. Tyreek is going to be the defensive tackle number 1. We have so much depth everywhere else on defense. It's just, dang, bro. Unfortunate. Brooks, we're going to move to rush defensive tackle. Yeah, actually, we're going to have this guy at rush defensive tackle. I need him to be a Rookie of the Year candidate. And I'm also going to need to get a running back. Maybe I could snag one in free agency because Devon just hasn't developed, unfortunately, but it's now time to move into the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark as we are 3-4, third in the division. The division is actually contested. I don't know what else this team needs other than development. I guess I am just going to go with defensive tackle again because I did kind of swing and miss on kind of both of those because one of them was a low overall. The other one didn't have a development. Maybe I get something in free agency in the final year. Players ready to negotiate. Jalen Thompson, you can take the money. It's fine. 4-year deal. He resigns. Cameron Thomas, you can walk. Trey McBride can walk. I just don't need a second-string tight end. Everyone else here is fine. And yeah, they can all walk. But apart from that, let's just hit the playoffs, not the midseason mark. Here we are in the playoffs coming off a win to the Steelers as we finish 11-6, top the division above the 11-6 Rams and the 10-7 Niners as we're going to be facing them in the wild card round. I don't know if we're going to beat them, but still, good season. Kyler Murray did not have a good season. Again, second worst offense at 15th best defense. How, bro? I guess our offensive line just isn't developed enough. 4,100 yards, 30 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Not a good pass rating. Rushing-wise, we need a new running back. He just isn't going to develop in time. Mike Hightower, our first-round pick, only has normal dev. 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns. I would say that deserves star dev now. Defensively, Devin White, 149 tackles, tackles for a loss, 15 for Jeremy Brooks, sacks 23 for Will Anderson, 13 tackles for a loss as well. He's crazy. 3 interceptions for Devin White, safety, 0 defensive touchdowns is 1 for Isaiah Simmons. Our offense just needs to perform. I don't know how we have the second worst offense and won the division, but let's see if we can beat the Niners. I highly doubt we will with our team, and we do. 38-3, blowing them out here to face the 7-10 Vikings. We have an 85 overall team versus their 83 overall team. We're a whole 82 overalls higher, and our defense is way better. We beat them. Here to face the 7-10 Buccaneers. How are you an 86 overall and you're 7-10? And also, how are these 7-10 teams taking their division? Let's move into it. Here we are against the 7-10 Buccaneers. This is why the playoff system is flawed, dude. It should not be about divisions. It should be who is the better team, but they're never going to do that. 0-7 still, because our offense is terrible. Second worst in the league, to be specific, but our defense is clamping, of course. Defense is going crazy. 88 overall defense, and we're going to the Super Bowl with the second worst offense in the league. Okay. So this is already a successful rebuild because we do not need to win the Super Bowl. We just need to make it there. And what do you know? We get our rematch. The Arizona Cardinals versus Pittsburgh Steelers. Sign Larry Fitzgerald out of free agency because technically he's not retired. He's waiting for the Cardinals to get it into a Super Bowl, and he would love to be in this rematch. I don't care if Larry Fitzgerald is 55 years old. He would come out of retirement for this moment. Specifically, Tevin Jenkins gets Superstar Dev, probably won Lineman of the Year. Hightower, I'm going to give Star Dev. You don't just have 1,200 yards and 9 touchdowns in a season and you're just normal Dev. No, you have some potential there for sure, and you're also the leading receiver on your team as your third on the depth chart. So he's going to get a development upgrade. Running back isn't really doing much of anything. Okay, there's something good right there. Our defensive tackle gets Star Dev, so I may not need to replace him. He gets Defensive Rookie of the Year. That's exactly what I was looking for. And super hyped about that. L'Jarius Sneed gets Superstar Dev. Apart from that, team looks pretty good. We got our Steelers-Cardinals rematch. I would love to see this in real life, but let's move into it. Here we are in Atlanta. This feels so nostalgic. Let's prevent the Steelers from getting Super Bowl number 7 as they're already a 2-score lead starts. 7-17, 7-24. Yeah, our defense just is not holding up to what it's supposed to be, and our offense, of course, is terrible. Yeah, this is no rematch. This is just it's a reminder of why the Steelers won in the first place. I mean, there was a comeback there at the end, but 24-38. Wearing number 7? Taking Big Ben's number? I don't think so. Who is that? Mac Jones took Big Ben's number and just wiped us in the Super Bowl. Oh my God. Let's see who the Super Bowl MVP is. Your Super Bowl MVP is Mac Jones. Joe Burrow wins the league MVP. And for some reason, it's saying the Chargers got the Defensive Rookie of the Year, even though I literally showed it on screen that we got it, but apparently not. We've already looked into the player upgrades. Let's hit the re-signings. In the NFC West, Khalil Mack retires on the Rams and Kyle Juszczyk retires on the Niners. I don't think there's any re-signings, and honestly, I don't even need to be in free agency. I have everything. Yeah, I don't want to re-sign anyone here. I have everything I want on offense. I just need the players to develop. That's the only annoying thing. Can't get them to develop in time, but I am going to be trading for a running back. Actually, let's see if there is one there. If there isn't, I'll just skip to the draft. And what do you know? There was a running back in free agency. X-Factor Dalvin Cook. In real life, he's probably not going to be an X-Factor in the next Madden, but for right now, he's an X-Factor in simulation. So I'm going to take what I can get, and apart from that, let's move in to the NFL draft. So it's the 4th and final season. I might as well go all in, trading away my first round pick, my second round pick, and another second round pick for the defensive tackle Ed Oliver from the Buffalo Bills. He has a superstar X factor. We really don't need anything else. I just needed my team to develop, which they couldn't do in time. I'm just going to get to the end of the draft. Can we go back to the Super Bowl and give the Cardinals their first ever Super Bowl win? It is time to find out. We got Dalvin Cook, an X-Factor running back. We have good receivers here, 87 overall, 89 overall, 82 overall, good depth, 83 overall tight end. This is a good offensive line. It's just not a high enough overall, unfortunately. 85 overall team, so it's not a crazy high overall team, but this defense is crazy. 2 superstar X factors on the defensive line, lots of depth, another superstar defensive end, 3 superstar defensive backs, 2 good safeties, good depth at linebacker too. There should be no problem with winning, but of course there always is. But let's move in to the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs going 13-4, top the division, first round bye. Our offense is still lacking, being mid in the NFL. Our passing game is 26th, but hey, we're top of the division and we get a first round bye. That's what matters. Kyler continues to suck. 25th best offense in the NFL and 3rd best defense. Like, this is not overall the worst stat sheet. Like, but look, compared to the rest of the NFL, 29th pass rating, 22nd passing touchdown, and 25th passing yards. 4,100 yards, 30 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Not a bad ratio. 98 pass rating isn't enough. Dalvin Cook did cook 24 touchdowns, 4.2 per carry, 1,300 yards. Mike Hightower, 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns. Everyone else here is just mid. Defensively, Devin White, 101 solo tackles, 133 tackles for a loss, 26 for Will Anderson. Will Anderson is a god. 28 tackles, 28 sacks. Montez Sweat, 13 sacks. Interceptions, 7 for Devin White. Safeties on the team, 1 for Ed Oliver. Defensive touchdowns is 1 for Trayvon Diggs. NFL records, we're going to see season defensive sacks. Will Anderson Jr. now holds the records for the most sacks in the season. Max Crosby had 26 in the same season. But still, let's see what we're going to be facing in the divisional round. We don't really have the highest overall team. Again, Kyler Murray just sucks. I think this is where it might end here. The Cowboys are really good in simulation, regardless of them being 9-8. Oh, never mind. So, we have a Cardinals and Panthers 2015 Conference Championship rematch. Yes, I remember all the championships and the conference championships. I remember this rematch. Hopefully we don't get whooped up like the Panthers whooped up on the Cardinals that one year in 2015. And they also have Bijan Robinson and Miles Sanders. Okay. Here we are in Arizona to face the Carolina Panthers. Thankfully, they don't have Super Camp, but it seems like they do, as it's 14-0 start, 21-7 now. In the second, 28-7. Oh my God, I'm just being beaten down. Oh no, comeback? No, we're not. That's not going to be a comeback. 38-24, 31. Okay, we came back a little there, but it wasn't enough. They have a new version of Super Cam. At least it wasn't as bad. Yeah, it's CJ Stroud. That's their new Super Cam. So, unfortunately, guys, that is going to be the rebuild. It is a successful rebuild, though, because we did make it to the Super Bowl in the previous season. Hey, we still had a pretty good run there, in the end being 13-4, but we did get eliminated by the 9-8 Carolina Panthers. Please tell me this is a Broncos and Panthers Super Bowl so we can get this rematch. That would make so much sense in terms of a timeline. This would also be 11 years later from that. So it is going to be a Steelers and Panthers. We could have had a rematch if we won that. That would have been crazy. But anyways, guys, apart from that, I thank you guys all once again for watching. I do think we built a pretty good team, 89 overall in the end. We had an X-Factor defensive line. Will Anderson was crazy. It's just Kyler Murray sucked the entire rebuild. And what do you want me to do? Replace a superstar development young QB? No, I'm not doing that. I guess our offensive line just didn't develop fast enough. But anyways, once again, thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.